So you're doing everything right. You've swapped chips for almonds, you're cooking with that good olive oil, and your salads are loaded with avocado. You've kicked the junk food to the curb for healthy food, and you're feeling pretty good about it. But then you step on the scale, and nothing's changed. Or even worse, the number is creeping up. If you're eating all the quote-unquote right foods, but still gaining weight, you're not going crazy. You've just fallen into what I call the diet trap. It's this maddening situation where the very foods you think are helping you are actually holding you back. Today, we're going to break down why these healthy foods might be the culprit and how one simple mental shift can help you finally get the results you want without ever feeling hungry or deprived. The healthy calorie bombs. First things first, let's be clear. The problem isn't that avocados, nuts, or olive oil are bad for you. They're amazing. They're loaded with nutrients, healthy fats, and fiber. The problem is that they are incredibly calorie dense. What does that even mean? It means a tiny portion of these foods can pack a huge number of calories. Take nuts, for example. They're a fantastic snack, full of protein and healthy fats. But a couple of mindless handfuls of walnuts while you're watching a show can easily add up to 500 calories. For some people, that's an entire meal, gone in minutes without a second thought. The same goes for dried fruit, which many people grab as a healthy substitute for candy. It's basically fruit with all the water sucked out, which super concentrates the sugar and calories into a much smaller, easier to overeat package. And then you have the darlings of the health world: avocados and olive oil. A single medium-sized avocado can have over 300 calories. 1 tablespoon of olive oil, which, let's be honest, most of us pour on our salads like we're watering a plant, has about 120 calories. While these fats are great for your heart, they add up with shocking speed. A salad can go from a 200-calorie light lunch to a 700-calorie feast just from the dressing, avocado, and nuts you pile on top. That scoop of guacamole is definitely nutritious, but it packs a caloric wallop that can easily push you into a calorie surplus if you're not paying attention. This is the trap of the health halo. We see a food as good, and we give ourselves a mental green light to eat as much as we want. We feel so proud of choosing the salad that we completely ignore the fact that we've basically turned it into a bucket of high-calorie toppings. The issue isn't the food itself. It's that we misunderstand its true calorie cost. The solution: understanding calorie density. So how do you get out of this trap? The answer is a game-changing concept called calorie density. Calorie density is simply a measure of the calories in a certain amount of food. Foods with low calorie density have fewer calories for their weight. Think fruits, veggies, and broth-based soups. They're full of water and fiber, which makes you feel full without packing in the calories. High-calorie density foods are the opposite: oils, nuts, and cheese, where a lot of calories are crammed into a small space. This is the part that changes everything. Picture 400 calories in your mind. What does that look like on a plate? Well, for 400 calories, you could have a tiny quarter cup of olive oil. Or, for the same 400 calories, you could eat a massive, heaping plate of food that includes over 2 pounds of broccoli. Which one do you think is going to make you feel fuller? That's the secret to eating more and weighing less. Your stomach doesn't have tiny calorie counters. It has stretch receptors. It signals that you're full based on the sheer volume of food you've eaten. When you load your plate with low-calorie density foods like vegetables, fruits, and lean proteins, you can eat huge, satisfying meals that trigger those fullness signals without going overboard on calories. This isn't about banning the healthy, high-calorie foods you love. It's about being strategic. Instead of snacking on a few handfuls of nuts, have an apple with 1 tablespoon of almond butter. The apple gives you volume and fiber to fill you up, while you still get the healthy fats from the nuts in a controlled dose. Try using an oil spray instead of pouring from the bottle. Use that delicious avocado as a flavor-packed garnish, not the star of the show. When you understand calorie density, you switch your thinking from restriction to abundance. You learn to fill most of your plate with low-density foods and use the high-density ones to make everything taste amazing. If you're having a bit of a light bulb moment right now and this whole calorie density thing is starting to click, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel. And if you want to learn more about losing weight without feeling like you're starving, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. The hidden habits that add up. Now, escaping the diet trap isn't just about what you eat. It's also about how you eat. There are a few sneaky habits that can pile on the pounds, even when your food choices are on point. First up, your eating speed. Are you one of those people who finishes a meal in 5 minutes flat? If so, you're not giving your brain a chance to catch up with your stomach. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to send the, "Hey, I'm full" signal to your brain. When you eat too fast, you can blow past that signal and eat hundreds of extra calories before you even realize you're satisfied. The research is pretty clear. Fast eaters are far more likely to be overweight. The fix is simple. Slow down. Put your fork down between bites, take a sip of water, and try to make your meal last at least 20 minutes. Next is the trap of distracted eating. Munching away while watching TV, scrolling on your phone, or working at your desk is a recipe for overeating. When your brain is focused on something else, you're not tuned in to your body's hunger and fullness cues. A review of 24 different studies confirmed that people who ate while distracted not only ate more at that meal, but they also ate more later in the day because their brain never really registered that they'd eaten in the first place. Finally, one of the sneakiest sources of hidden calories is what you drink. Your brain doesn't process calories from liquids the same way it does from solid food. That sweet tea, morning latte, or healthy fruit juice can be loaded with sugar and calories, but they do next to nothing to make you feel full. One brilliant study compared the effects of eating whole apples, apple sauce, and apple juice. Even with the same calorie count, the whole apple was by far the most filling, while the juice was the least. Those liquid calories just sneak right past your body's fullness detectors, leaving you ready to eat a full meal right after. The dieting myths that always backfire. Let's be real. Many of us have been brainwashed by decades of bad diet advice, and some of the most common tricks are actually setting us up to fail. A perfect example is skipping meals. You might think skipping breakfast is a clever way to save calories for later, but this strategy almost always backfires. When you let yourself get ravenously hungry, you're way more likely to overeat at your next meal and reach for high-calorie comfort foods. On top of that, your body is smart. When it senses a long time without food, it can slow down your metabolism to save energy, what people call starvation mode. This means you burn fewer calories just existing, making it even harder to lose weight. This leads to another myth, that extreme, painful restriction is the only way to get results. Slashing your calories to near starvation levels might get you some quick results on the scale, but it's not sustainable and it's definitely not healthy. Just like with skipping meals, severe restriction makes your metabolism hit the brakes to conserve energy. Then, when you inevitably quit the diet, because who can live like that, your body is primed to regain all the weight, and often, even more. This brutal cycle of crash dieting or yo-yo dieting is linked to greater long-term weight gain. Research shows that most people who lose weight on restrictive diets regain almost all of it within 5 years. And let me be clear, that isn't a failure of willpower. It's your body's biological response to what it thinks is a famine. The overlooked factor, your sleep. We cannot have a serious conversation about weight without talking about sleep. If you are consistently getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night, you are fighting an uphill battle against your own biology. Sleep deprivation messes with you in a few key ways. First, it throws your hunger hormones into chaos. It jacks up cortisol, a stress hormone that drives appetite. And it disrupts the hormones that tell you when you're hungry and when you're full. This is why you feel starving and crave junk food after a bad night's sleep. Second, a lack of sleep actually encourages your body to hold on to more fat. And third, it just drains your willpower. When you're exhausted, the energy to cook a healthy meal or hit the gym just isn't there. And this isn't just a theory. One massive study followed over 68,000 women for 16 years and found that those who slept 5 hours or less per night were significantly more likely to gain weight than those who got 7 hours or more. Making sleep a priority isn't a luxury. It's a non-negotiable part of any successful weight management plan. So if you've been stuck in the diet trap, feeling frustrated that your hard work isn't paying off, I want you to hear this. It is not your fault. You've just been playing by the wrong rules. The path to lasting, healthy weight management isn't about eating less. It's about eating smarter. It's about understanding calorie density so you can fill your plate with delicious, satisfying food. It's about being mindful of how you eat, slowing down, ditching distractions, and watching out for liquid calories. It's about finally rejecting the damaging myths of skipping meals and extreme restriction. And it's about giving your body the foundational support it needs with great sleep. The goal is to shift your mindset from restriction and fear to abundance and knowledge. You don't have to be afraid of food. By focusing on whole foods, filling up on low-calorie density options, and using those high-calorie density foods strategically for flavor, you can eat generous meals, feel satisfied, and finally achieve the health and weight that feels right for you. What's one healthy food you think might have been sneaking calories into your diet? Let me know in the comments below. And for more videos that break down the real science of health, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching.